Ever wonder how our work knowledge is being acquired? Research shows that we acquire 10% of our working knowledge through formal education, 20% through social learning, and a whopping 70% through experiential learning. Experiential learning. Experiential learning. So what is experiential learning? Experiential learning is a process through which students develop knowledge, skills, and values from direct experiences. In other words, learning by doing. Can you imagine if you were being taught how to operate an iPhone in a class with manuals, slides, and PowerPoints? Wouldn't it be better if I simply gave you an iPhone so you can experience it right away? Introducing MonsoonSIM, an enterprise simulation and experiential education platform. It's exciting, fun, and educational for all levels of staff. A typical MonsoonSIM session is a one-day workshop, although MonsoonSIM can be configured to run in an extended workshop up to, say, 3 months. The session is facilitated by a certified facilitator who will configure the game based on an appropriate scenario. The participants of the game, or players, can come together in a room or they can be off-site anywhere on the cloud. Indeed, there are many games out there. There are team-building games, productivity games, and many other creative thinking games. MonsoonSIM is designed to educate staff and employees of a large organization to understand how to work better using an integrated computerized, or ERP, system. The key word here is integrated. Meet Jane. Jane has been working in the purchasing department for several years. Every day, Jane comes to the office, turns on her computer, and processes hundreds of purchase requisitions. And Jane has been doing the same thing for the last 2 years. Wouldn't it be good if Jane knew how the data she enters affects her colleagues in some other departments in her organization? Wouldn't it be good if Jane knew that if she put in the wrong vendor code, the spare parts that she ordered would never arrive? And the mechanics in the maintenance department would never get the delivery trucks to be repaired on time, and the users out in the field would not get their supplies on time. How about John? John is a new recruit. John has never worked in a large organization. John is assigned to work in the finance department. How long will it take for John to appreciate how his job is related to the other departments? And how is the data he inputs into the ERP system affecting the other departments? Now, we can always give John and Jane proper training the traditional way with manuals, handbooks, guides, PowerPoint slides, videos, etc. Or, ta-da, we can send John and Jane for a session of MonsoonSIM. Let's see how MonsoonSIM works. Harry, the facilitator, has just configured MonsoonSIM based on the following scenarios. There are 3 military bases out there. Each base has X number of troops. Each troop consumes X units of food supplies, Y units of medical supplies, and Z units of daily supplies per day. Then, Harry, the facilitator, also configured the following supporting organizations: finance, purchasing, logistics, MRP, forecast, maintenance, human resources, and service departments. The participants are divided into 5 teams, each team, say, with 5 staff members. Each team represents a virtual supporting organization. Harry then runs the game, simulating, say, 200 virtual days, with each virtual day being, say, 40 seconds. The teams then compete to see which team can provide the best support to the troops out there. Failure to supply the necessary food, medicine, and daily supplies will result in catastrophic consequences on the field. In order to do well, each team has to, 1. Understand the relationships among the various departments, 2. Execute well, 3. Communicate well, and 4. Work as a team. John, who takes on the role as finance staff, has to understand how each purchase will eventually affect the daily cash balances. John also has to ensure that all the purchases are properly budgeted. Jane, who takes on the role as purchasing staff, has to worry about which vendors to select and which are to be invited for biddings. Jane also has to be aware of the vendor's delivery lead time. Jane also has to make sure vendors are being paid on time. Peter takes on the role of maintenance. Peter has to be constantly aware of the operating conditions of the delivery trucks, which deliver the important supplies to the troops out in their bases. When Peter needs to perform a maintenance function, Peter has to involve Jane to approve the PO, which will also involve John, who oversees the budget. Adam, who takes on the role of service staff, has to monitor incoming service calls from the field and take the proper actions. Jessica, who takes on the role of a recruiting staff, has to work based on her simulated headcount plan. In MonsoonSIM, the game starts with a very simple scenario and evolves as the game progresses. Every virtual day is an exciting day. Every virtual day is a learning experience. By operating as a team to support the troops on the bases, Peter, John, and Jane, Adam, and Jessica have to work as a team. They have to understand how the data they input into the system affects each other. Players will learn how to manage their own KPI and learn to appreciate others' KPI. Players also need to manage their own constraints, such as time, capacity, and staff, and appreciate the constraints of the other departments. In MonsoonSIM, each player can take on multiple roles. For example, Jane may take on the role of purchasing staff and logistics staff, while John may take on finance and human resources. And participants can switch roles anytime. By making the teams compete with each other, learning a complex enterprise system becomes exciting and fun. Participants truly can learn things without realizing it. In summary, MonsoonSIM is an ideal platform to help all levels of staff to learn the overall integrated process within an enterprise, learn to work better with each other, and appreciate the power of an integrated ERP system. Thank you.